Alright, let's get right into it. First, you need to download the 3D rendering program called Blender. Download the 32-bit version of the latest and download and install that. I've already done so. I put it in this folder that I'm going to be coming back to, and I already installed it and everything. Okay, now once that's installed, you'll need to open up Blender, and you'll need to take the video file that you recorded and put it in this environment. So here's Blender. It's a 3D program. So what I'm going to do first is delete this cube that's here. Right click, say delete. Okay, now we need to click this little button down here in the lower left corner, hit Movie Clip Editor, and then we're going to open, and I've already recorded a little clip, and I'll show you kind of the basics of what you need to do when you're recording. Here it is. Okay, you can see this is a picture of a table in the dining room. It's just a little white punch paper dots that I put all over, and this is going to be for tracking the movement of the environment in the video. And then we'll put our 3D objects on top of that. Okay, so what we need to do here is on their tracking, you'll find all these numbers here. I'm going to set for mine that this would be pattern size. I'm going to set it to 7. Pattern size is the size of a square when you add a tracking marker. So it looks like this. You can see it's a little square around the circle, and that's 7 pixels by 7 pixels. It's a little square. And this is basically what's going to happen when I track it. The video will play, and Blender will automatically detect this area in this little corner up here and try and duplicate or try and track that image through the entire video. Now what you want to do is let's see, that might actually be a little small, so I'm gonna delete this. Press the delete key. Okay, I've got it deleted. I'm gonna set this to 5 and hope that works better. Now the search size is how far apart it will search for that image. If you make it too big, it might jump around to other dots. So don't put your dots too close to each other when you're filming. So I'm going to set this to about 30. Okay, match, set this to previous frame. Go into extra settings here, set the margin to 5. And this is just when a pixel goes out of the screen, it will automatically stop tracking it. So let's see how this works. So to select a tracking marker, you can hit Add Marker, or you can hit the Control key and left click like that. And get it in the center if you can. You can zoom in with the wheel of your mouse or the plus and minus keys on your number pad. So there we go. Want to get it in the middle there. And we'll just do this with all these dots I have. Some won't end up showing up in the final cut, but that's okay. We want to get as many as we can. You can see I made a little, almost a square here, or a rectangle. That's where the car is going to be when I'm finished rendering. So you can kind of make a basic shape, and then you want some in the background and close to you and then far away as well. And the more points you can get, the more secure and accurate your tracking, motion tracking will be. Okay. Almost done here. You can do lots of other points too, some stuff in the background. Corners, edges, lights, little dots. There won't be a way, for right now, I'm not sure how to remove these because I'm not that much of a professional at doing this. So to remove the white dots once you've done it. Okay, we've got them all selected. Now hit A, and that should select all of them. You might have to hit it twice. Okay, now we're going to scroll down here to track. And, oh, let's see, I forgot one thing. We need to set the time frame of the whole movie. So it automatically sets to 250 frames. Oh, this one might be shorter than 250 frames. Okay, it's a little longer. So let's see. The last frame of the video is 267. Okay, so I'll put that in. Okay, there we go. Now we're ready to track. Now this is the edgy part here, and this is may take trial and error. Okay, you can hit shift left arrow to go to the beginning. Okay, we'll hit this play button here to track. As you can see, it has these little indications. Oh, it missed a few tracking spots. Okay, that was pretty rough, but we'll just go ahead with it anyway. Ideally, you want to keep all these lined up and it detects it. See, when it turns pink, it's lost the tracking for it. Okay, but you know, we can't really get everything. Okay, what I need to do now is find an area where there was movement in the camera so that it can detect the 3D environment. So this is keyframe 58 down here. So I think if I, let's see, okay, 58, and I had quite a bit of movement right here. Oh, you know what? I'm going to set my first keyframe to keyframe, oh, which one is this? 88. Okay. Okay, and then this one's 114. I'm pretty nervous. This isn't going to look very good. Okay, I guess we're good enough. Okay, I'll hit solve camera motion. Now it's going to calculate. We're going to get a solve error. You want this under 3, ideally. The higher it is, the worse it's going to look. But that's pretty good. Not the greatest. If it's under 1, then it's very good. A lot of times when I would do it, it was over 100, which is really bad. So set your keyframes to a short little span where it moves in depth in the camera environment so it can detect. Okay, good enough. Okay, let's set this as the background and set up tracking scene. Actually, I should have hit tracking scene first, but that's okay. Okay, now we'll click this to the 3D environment. As you can see here, you can rotate this 3D environment with your number pad arrows. These are the points here, and if I use my arrow keys, you can see how the camera moves in the environment. Okay, so that's a good point right there. Now, what we need to do is I'm going to select the cube. It automatically sets up a lighting and ground for you and everything when you set up tracking scene. So I'm going to select this cube real quick, and I'm going to bring it up with this blue arrow. Now what I want to do, if you want to look through the camera view, you hit 0 on your number pad. Now I'm going to bring this over, so I have 2 windows now, and I'm going to bring in the movie clip editor, and I'll hit, let's see, I believe it's on solve, set as background. Okay, there we go. Now we have the background here, but you can see that the environment is too low. The floor isn't on the right spot. So what we can do is put this grid, I'll show you here. See, this grid should be up where the points are, up here. So let's select 3 points on the video that correctly show where the display is. Okay, I can right click in the open. Now hit shift, well, let's see, right click a point and then hit shift, hold shift, and then click another point. Come on, there we go. And you want to get 3 points. This is going to make your floor. Okay, we've got 3 points selected. Set floor. Now you can see, here we go, that the floor is set correctly, or at least better. Okay, now this box is way too big. So we can hit scale as long as it's selected up here. Scale. And let's bring it down to size. Okay, I'll zoom in here. And we'll move it around a little bit. Now let's see what that looks like through the camera angle. Okay, you know what? One more thing. I'm going to set the ground. And I'm going to scale that too, because this needs to be much smaller. Should have been on the other axes, but that's okay. Close enough. Okay. Oh, whoops. Cube. Move the cube over a little bit. Okay, now I'm going to try something here. I'm going to render the image and see what it looks like. Okay, why is it such a big shadow? Huh. Probably because show hide, that'll hide it. Okay, I need to move my lighting lamp. Yeah, the lighting's all in the wrong spot. In the actual video, it was to the left of the camera, so I'm going to hit lamp. Here we go. Here's the light source, and we'll put it over here as such. This was about where it was at in the actual recording. Okay, let's see what that looks like now. Weird. Why is it such an oblong square? Well, that must be... Let me try something. You might not have to go through this. Compositing. Okay, that was it. Yeah, hit compositing. It should fix the error. See, now the shadow's in the right spot. All these nodes and wires, don't worry about that for now. Just keep it default. Okay. Now there's something else I need to do. Let's see here. I think that's the basic part of getting a cube in the drawing. I'll swipe that over like that. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to delete the cube, and now we're going to put a NASCAR 2003 model in. Oh, I know what it is I need to do. I need to save. Always save in case it crashes. Okay, save as. We'll call this table NR2003. Save as Blender file. Okay, now what we need to do is get some renderings. So if you're familiar with the NASCAR 2003 community, you may know about rendered models for rendering scenes, but that's usually in a program called 3ds Max, which is not, Max files are not compatible with Blender. So use the car viewer files, okay? So I downloaded a car viewer pack. Let's see here. A car viewer mega pack, and what I'm going to use for this is the 2000, well, this is actually the 2013 BR mod, and this has car files that are X files, is what they're called. Now, I used a converter program to convert X into 3ds because Blender does not accept X files. So this will be a little web page that you can use to convert to 3ds. .3ds. Okay, so I've already converted a 3ds model of a Chevy, or a Toyota, I mean. So I'm going to hit File, Import, and import a 3ds. Okay, and it was in here, Toyota, the car, 3ds, import. Alright, it is huge compared to the rest of the scene. So we need to scale it. So make sure you've got this, select the car on there. Okay, we'll hit scale. Should be able to scale it down. Don't invert it. Do not invert it, otherwise your paint scheme will be backwards. Okay. We'll scale it down. I don't know how big. We'll do it pretty big. Okay. Zoom in a little bit. Okay. Alright. We're making progress. Okay. Now hit the R button twice to rotate it freely. Okay. We'll just move this over here. I need to make my floor a little bigger. The floor is going to be where your shadow's at. Okay. Not bad. We might just keep it like at that angle. I might not even have it forward really. Whoops. Did I have it? Oh, it's running through the bottom there. This could take a while. Some of this stuff, but not really. Then you click to put it back. I think I'm going to call that good enough. Okay, I want to do one more thing. I want to take the ground, bring it out, scale it out a little bit more so I can get the shadow correct. Okay, now I'm no pro at this, so I'm just telling you right now, this probably isn't going to look the greatest. But right now you can see we've got the basic model on the screen. And it looks like it follows pretty well where the table was. Not perfect, but not half bad. Okay, now we'll save that. We don't want to lose what we've got so far. Let's take a quick render. Alright, not bad. Not bad at all. Not great. I mean, it's, you can mess with the lighting and stuff, and if you really want to get into it. But we're just getting the basics here. Okay. Alright, hide. Okay. Now it's time to put on paint schemes. Okay, in order to get your paint scheme, I would recommend a 2048 by 2048 image. Now, if you have no idea what I was just talking about, I will show you here. Let's see where we were. So you'll take a program called WinMip2, and then you'll open this program here. And you'll go to Car File Editor. Now this you can navigate into your NASCAR 2003 season series folder, whichever mod you had the file or the rendering for. I'm going to render the DeWalt Toyota from 2015, and this is a 2048 by 2048. Did I even open it? Oh, it's still working. The 2048 by 2048 dimension. Okay, here we go. 2048 by 2048 it says for the car, and then the crew or the pit crew is 1024 by 24. Okay, we want to export as preferable. We'll do bitmap. Export car texture. Okay, and let's save this. I'm going to save this to where I had my Toyota here. I'll save it in here as a bitmap. Boom. Okay, we can close this one. Here we go. And we'll just minimize this for a little bit here. Here we go. We've got paint job. Okay, we'll hit the texture button here. It's this little, looks like a checkerboard. And then we need to hit new. Scroll down, hit open. Okay, we need to go to where we save these files here. And I have the 20 is the 20 cup bitmap. This is that DeWalt. Here we go. You can see it. Loaded it here. Now to see what that looks like, you have to render. There we go. Yep. Say, hey, check it. Nice, huh? Okay, the tires are inside are messed up, so we gotta get that. Or no, the interior's there. There's a texture there. So all we need to do now is the tires. So I'll hit new. Go down to open. Open sesame. Toyota. Tire slow. That means it's when the tires stopped and you can see the Goodyear and all that. File render. Render image. Alright, check it. Hey, nice, huh? Now, I'm not sure how stable this is going to look when we actually get it done. But, hey, that's not bad. Okay. I think that's all we have because the interior is already there. It already knew the location of that file. Okay, so we have everything set now. Let's go to the start scene. Oh, we are at the start. Okay, and I'm going to hit render animation. Now this will take a while, so we'll just sit tight and let it render all the files. Now that it has finished rendering all of the video, or all of the pictures, every frame of the entire video, it's placed them in a folder in your Windows C and then TMP, probably for temp. And then, let's see, it puts them in here. I already took them and put them in another folder in my videos folder. And this would be in tracking. And it's on here it is, DeWalt on table. I made a folder for it. This keeps it separated because it changes the file names if you keep it in the temp, which can mess with your video editing. So I'll just highlight all these frames, 267 frames. This is at 30 frames per second, and I'll put this into my video editor. So I'm going to open up a video editor. This is my Sony Vegas. One thing that you're going to have to do is go into options, and depending on your video editor it might be a little different, but generally go into preferences and then into editing, I believe. And what you want to do is set how long, when you put a picture into your timeline, how long it will be, what duration in seconds. So normally it's like 5 seconds at default, so I set it to 0.02 seconds, so 2/100ths of a second, which is about 1 frame per, it's at 30 frames a second, so it'll just be 1 frame, not a second long. So now I need to go to my folder here, take all these pictures, put it in here. Whoops, I did it wrong. Okay, good deal. It moved them all in. And then we'll put them in the timeline. And if you have audio, you can also bring in your movie clip and put that in as an audio, but I didn't really say anything when I was doing it. So there we go. It's a little glitchy, not the greatest, but hey, you know, not bad. Could have been a lot worse. And that's like only my 3rd or 4th attempt at doing this. So hey, I'm pretty satisfied. So that's how you put a 3D model such as a car into an actual video environment. Hope you enjoyed. Hope it works out for you. I'll try and answer some questions if I can. Can't guarantee that I'll be around. Getting pretty busy, but let me know how it works for you. Thanks for watching, and as always, have a very happy landing.